Hey everyone, my name is Beacon. This is the Point Mechanic channel, and the next 3 videos are all going to be about rope. This is a lot of information of these videos, so they're pretty dang long. If you want to skip ahead to some section that you want to see, you can look in the video description as long as you're viewing this on YouTube, and there will be timestamps that you can click on, and it'll take you to the section of the video that you want to see. So a little over 15 years ago, somebody handed me a set of shoestrings with tennis balls attached to them, and they said spin them. I immediately was hooked. I went home and I'm like, I'm going to make these things so much better. So I got tennis balls and attached a paracord to them. Didn't make them that much better. So I started making more and more poi, and over the years I've probably made a couple hundred different sets. I've changed everything about each set, it seems. I changed everything from like the head size, shape, weight, overall length, the thickness of the rope, the springiness, the sponginess, the handles, you name it, I've changed it. And after all that experimenting, I realized that it was, without a doubt, rope that affected everything the most. Followed by handles and probably heads, I guess. But it affects everything about how you learn, what tricks you can do, just what your overall experience is. I figure it's like one of those things most people have no idea. They just go out and buy a set of poi and think that whatever they bought is good. And it might be working good for them, but they could probably do so much better. Had I known about something like this, 15 years ago, I would be so much better than I am now. So I decided I wanted to gather all the information that I've collected over the years and put it into a video so somebody can research what might work for them and say, yeah, that'll work. But I realized that it's impossible to put all this into one video. It's going to take 3 videos. So this video, I'm going to be talking about the different types of ropes that there are, the different terminology I'll be using, so you'll understand what I'm talking about in the next couple videos, and then a couple different things you can do with certain ropes that you can't do with others. The next video will be talking about how each rope will affect your tricks a little differently based on the characteristics that the rope has. And then the third video will be a complete review about all the ropes that I have in my hands, which Flow and Fire sent me a lot, but other ropes that I've collected, and then just all the other things I've learned over the years. So I hope this helps some people out. I do want you to know that this is just my own personal experience, that everybody's going to have a different experience and a different opinion, and if I can help a couple people out, that's good. It should help multiple people. Like, doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you're a pro. I know some pros that are spinning with really crappy material, so hopefully this might help them. But anyways, let's get started. So there's 2 different types of fibers with rope. There's either a natural fiber or a synthetic fiber. Natural fibers being something like this cotton here or a silk bondage rope. Synthetic fiber list is very long, but polypropylene, polyester, Dyneema, Technora, nylon, Vectran, Spectra, just to name a few. They come in 3 different categories, either a single braid, a double braid, or a kern mantle style. A single braid has 2 different types. There's a solid core and a hollow core. The solid core is something like this MFP rope. It has 12 different strands of fibers that are woven together in a way that the inner fibers and the outer fibers are bonded together. This rope is a hollow core, it's Technora, and it opens up. So you're able to feed the rope in through itself, which doubles up the rope, plus it gives you an opportunity to attach the your poi heads or your swivels or something without creating a knot. You can bond the fibers at the end. The double braid rope is a woven jacket around a woven core. The core on this one happens to be hollow core, and a lot of times they are. The kern mantle style is a woven jacket around either individual strands of fiber like this or twisted fibers like that. Each rope is made from different materials. The single braid ropes are most often made from the exact same materials, but these double braids and kern mantle style are often different materials. The reason this is important is this Dyneema is covered by a polyester jacket. The Dyneema and the polyester melt at completely different temperatures, so trying to melt a cap on the end like I have here is pretty much impossible to do. So you have to kind of know this in advance, how you're planning on attaching it to your handles or your head or whatever. In this case, where it's a nylon jacket and a nylon core, I was able to melt the heads together. But in cases like this, I would oftentimes create either epoxy plug or, in this case, it's a cone for the no-slit method. There's a neat thing that you can do with the double braid and kern mantle style ropes that you can't do with the solid braid rope. Solid braid rope is as stiff as you get it from the factory, and there's not much more that you can do on it. With the double braid, you can actually adjust how stiff it is based on how tight you get the jacket to the core. So when I make my sets, I'll oftentimes just get the core really, and the core and the jacket really tight, and then I'll bond the fibers at the end, and it remains stiff. Sometimes I'll push the jacket a little together and let the core be longer, and it makes it a little bit more floppy. You can do that with this style of Kern mantle style rope as well. Something like this, it's kind of hard to do with just because the inner core, it doesn't have enough fibers sometimes to fill the outer jacket. So no matter how tight you get it, it can still like bunch up. Another thing you can do is you can adjust the tension by changing the type of rope that's inside here. Like for instance, this is a Dyneema rope and it's pretty floppy. I could put a Technora rope in it and actually make it much stiffer. So all rope will break down, some faster than the others. Cotton rope and natural fibers will break down the quickest, and synthetic probably the least. But there is some synthetic fibers that break down way quick and they'll shrink. All rope will pretty much shrink, some barely at all, some a lot. This stuff is the worst shrinking that I've found, which is the MFP, and that's because the fibers are so loosely woven that it gets dirt inside there and it breaks down the fibers from the inside out and it'll start to swell. The tighter the weave, like something like climbing rope, the less chance it breaks down just because you're not getting as much dirt in there, and you have less of a chance of snagging one of the little fibers that each bundle of fibers in the weave is made out of. There's also an issue with certain ropes have coatings and some don't. This regular polyester rope definitely did shrink and it's broken down and kind of got fuzzy. But this polyester sailing rope hardly has it all, and that's because it has some kind of a waterproof coating on it. I think another reason that this climbing rope lasts so long too is it seems to have a coating on it as well. Rope like this cotton here has a double braid rope. Actually, it's a Kern mantle style, and the outer jacket is much thinner, or it's made up of much thinner fibers than a lot of other ropes are out there, so it will wear through quicker because the fibers are smaller. This rope right here, this paracord, it doesn't hardly shrink at all, and it doesn't break down as much. The fibers are smaller, but the overall weave is much smaller as well. Other factors go into the shrinkage based on how much you hold on to the rope versus the handle. If you do tether tricks, if you have rough mechanic hands like I do, or if you're out in the desert like I spin where there's a lot of dirt, all those things will add up to more shrinkage. So the point I'm making is, always add a little bit extra rope length to your new set based on how much the rope is known to shrink. So on this video, I just wanted to get some of the basics about rope construction out of the way. The next couple of videos is going to be much more detailed as far as what the rope will do and what tricks it's good for. So definitely check those out, and I will see you there.